Welcome back, and I really want to share with you my Smuteye Central on a 10 by 6 layout. Most of the time you start with the layout with an 8 by 4 board. I expanded it by about a foot and 2 feet to make it all work. And the reason being is I want to show that a tabletop layout can be every bit as good as an around the room layout or shelf layout or a point-to-point switching layout. I want to run trains, watch them go around, and I want to do switching, and I got industries and of course the model building and the scenery and all that goes in with it. But today I want to focus in on laying the cork. And first of all, you have to have an anchor point. And I call it an anchor point because, well, ships drop an anchor to hold themselves at bay. Sail into a bay and they drop anchor and they can chill out there and not go anywhere. Well, an anchor on my railroad is the same thing. So I start with an oval, and then I picked two spots where I was going to have the arrival departure track so it can come in and run parallel and then get back on the oval. That is the beginning of where everything else is going to go, because based on where I put the turnout from the oval into the arrival departure track depended on where the ladder would go. And then the ladder depends on where it will exit to hit the radius to go up the hill to the upper layer on the inner loop. And then the other end, leaving the arrival departure track, it goes around the curve and hooks up with the inner loop, and then it goes around on the inside parallel to the outside loop. And then there's some other turnouts. So what I do is I get your cork and you split it down the middle, and then you have the beveled edges, and you butt the square edges up against the beveled edges, and you've got your cork roadbed. I calculate where the switches would go. Now when I first laid this thing out, I put tape down every foot, and then I went down and I counted, okay, it's going to be about 3 feet over, 4 feet over, and about a foot in. That's where this turnout's going to go. That turnout then determines where the return loop is. It determines where the turnout goes to go up the hill to go to the coal mine. And that was the anchor point for the return loop and going up the hill. That in turn determined where the outer loop would go as far as a double inner loop, because it's a twice around. And then when that was decided, then I pinned the cork down, and I put the switch down, and then I find the center of the track, and I mark it on the entrance, the exit, and then the turnout part. Then I take the turnout part, if it's in this case I got a right hand turnout, I take the right hand piece of cork and I butt it up to where my line is, and then I make the curve to where the other line is, and then I work my way around on the curve that I developed, and I pin that down. That gives me my turnout. Then I run the other cork up, butt it up against it, and then we get the knife out and we cut the cork to fit to make the turnout. Now I've got the curved turnout, and then I've got the straight piece going through, and I've got my layout switch turnout put into place. And the good thing about this is I can lay it and I work my way around the entire layout, laying the cork on where the turnouts and things go from the anchor point to anchor point, and then I run the cork between the turnouts for the straightaways or the curves, as the case may be, but everything fits where I'd like it to fit. Then I get the Gorilla Glue. I've seen some folks use caulking and other things, but I just get the Gorilla Glue, run it down cork or on the layout, on the roadbed, and I glue it down, and I pin it into place. Then I pull the other side up and put it into place, glue it, drop it down, put it into place, and that works out really good. Now the other thing that I like to do is I lay the cork all out with all the curves and the turnouts and how it's going to look, and I let it sit there for 2 or 3 days. It's out in the garage, it's winter time, it gets cold, it warms up, it gets cold, it warms up. but the cork starts to hold the shape that I've pinned it in. So that's it. Real simple. Figure out where the anchor point is. Find your center line on the turnouts. Run the cork down the turnout, and then another portion on the straightaway, and then fill it in. And the cork is laid. Next step will be laying the track, and I'm really looking forward to that, and wiring and all that's coming. But the cork bed's down, and it's looking a whole lot better. Until next time, keep on keeping on.